Hey, Gary, it's Michael. How you doing today?
Not bad, Michael. Yourself?
Doing pretty good, man. Yeah, I'm shooting you a call. I know yesterday we spoke. You told me to give you a call around 2 o'clock or so, just to kind of go have a bit more in depth of a conversation about kind of what we do and how it works.
Yeah, let's talk then.
All right, great. So yeah, I know. How long do you got? You got like 20 minutes here? 25 minutes?
I got some time.
Okay, perfect. So yeah, I just kind of let you know.
I'm just sitting at my desk writing and posting stuff right now. So
Oh, perfect.
we
Uh,
got time.
yeah, and I do want to like just kind of let you know I am a little sick right now. So if the energy's a bit down, or if I'm blowing my nose or whatever, then please bear with me there. Okay.
As long as I don't get it through the phone, then I'm good.
Oh, I hope not. I hope not. But yeah, so just to let you know how it'll go. Yeah.
Yeah. Go on. Sorry. Go on.
No, you're okay. So just to let you know how it'll go. I'm not looking to sell you or anything like that right now. I kind of just want to get a good picture of where you're at right now. And then after that, I'm gonna put together a game plan tailored to specifically to what you need. And then once we're there, I'll then put that together. We'll have a second call, and then we'll go on that call to review the proposal, and then we can see what we want to do from there. Does that sound good?
Sure. Yeah, sounds good.
Okay, perfect. So I just want to kind of start off. What's kind of like the major thing right now from our last call? You said you have guys to get on board, but you want to have consistent work. The biggest thing right now is you're struggling to get those jobs to bring those guys on. So I want to ask kind of right
Well,
now.
to bring the extra guys on, it would definitely be bringing on the work. The work currently isn't scarce. It's just finding the time to find the extra work to have the hours for guys because I can't exactly bring guys on and play the part time game and they'll never stick around.
Exactly. And with the services you guys provide, just so I know, like, because we're like typically in the remodeling and the cabinet specialist space, you guys do the remodeling, correct?
We do the remodeling. I do basically all your interior work, your kitchens, your bathrooms, your floors, walls, doors, you name it. If I don't do it personally or I haven't done it personally, I bring
Got
someone
the
else to do
subs.
it.
Yep.
Yeah, exactly.
Okay, nice. Anything with the exterior, like some patios, garden suites, anything like that?
I tend to stay away from the exterior work.
Nice. Yeah, no, I'm like that as well. I did like some landscaping for a little while myself, and I got tired of coming home with green socks every day.
Yeah, it's rough. It's rough, and as much as I like the sun, I don't really work well in sun. So
Yeah.
it's got to
No.
know your limits.
Yeah, exactly, right. Okay, that's nice. So with the interior remodels, and I know it definitely varies. But right now, how many projects are you guys averaging a month?
2 to 3. It just depends on the scope of the project, right? Currently remodeling a full house, so
Nice.
I've already done the 2 bathrooms and laundry rooms in projects prior to the rest of the home. So that's kind of taken up the last 4.5 weeks of my time. But I got other projects already, lined up and everything else. The nice thing would be able to overlap a few projects with a few different guys, so that way things get done and ultimately the flow of cash comes a little bit better, right?
Exactly. Yeah, I know. I agree with the overlap. That's definitely the goal here. And I know because it definitely varies with the type of projects. But when you say 2 to 3, and once again, I do know, especially for being in the space for the past like 9 months now, I know it does completely vary. But do you guys typically stay with those higher end rentals, like the basements and the kitchens, or is it more so like you're just kind of doing a bunch of powder rooms, or?
Well, so basically, little history on the business.
For
I started
sure.
this off as kind of a handyman thing. I used to work full time in logistics, and working in logistics just doesn't get you anywhere anytime fast.
Exactly.
So, the very first basement I ever worked on was one of my own with my parents. I was 14 years old. So I kind of started getting into the nitty gritty of things way back when. And many. I'm starting to sound like an old guy when I say many moons later. I used to look at the old guys I worked with when they said that. Now I'm understanding it.
Yeah, no.
It doesn't sound like years. But as the years went by, purchasing my own homes, working and everything else, I kind of saw that I had the knack that, I could go out there and I can kind of make some money off of this. And, things started off small, small projects, small, handyman stuff, small backsplashes,
Yep.
Small outdoor work, this and that, just to kind of get my hands dirty, get the client base going.
Yep.
And from there, I kind of built myself up to a full-time renovation company that still provides the handyman stuff. I mean, I build a lot of my clientele based on just doing those little jobs that a lot of guys don't really like to do, because
Yep.
at the end of the day, these guys don't want to go for, $100 job when they're trying to, score the $15,000-$20,000 bathroom.
Exactly.
I still do those little jobs, and even if I'm not able to get out to it because I'm busy doing something else, I got my one guy that I have working with me that I will send out to jobs like that, so that way I can still keep those people happy, keep everything going. The 2 to 3 jobs per month tends to be very dependent on what's going on that month, right?
Okay.
At any given time, I could be working 2 bathrooms that month, depending on the scope of the bathrooms. If it's just a powder room, whatever, those take a few days, nothing really massive. So then you make it 3 bathrooms in 1 month. But I mean, 2 to 3 is sort of an average number. It very much varies depending on the scope of the work. If I'm getting into something a little bigger, like a kitchen, or if I'm getting into one of my larger jobs last year, where it was basically a 2,000 square foot main floor renovation on an estate home.
Wow.
That was a nice figure for that one. That job took the better part of 10 weeks. Now, I wasn't there for the full time because it's something that big, that scope. I don't, I'm not, I'm not the 25-year-old I used to be. So I don't exactly sit there and plan on doing the flooring, right?
Exactly.
So I mean, I had a couple of guys come out, and while they're doing stuff, I'm either doing odds and ends on these projects, on another project, starting something else, right?
Yep.
That's typically how
the months go.
Has been run. Yeah, this is basically how things go.
Okay.
Getting a call from someone like you, kind of touching base on where I kind of want to be, where the 5 to 10 year plan from when I first started getting full time into this a few years ago is basically just kind of be in the office, get things going with a couple crews, go check things once in a while. I'm totally fine with still getting my hands dirty, but I would like to be a little bit more on the
CEO side, executive side.
Yeah. It's always going to be like, I mean, it's always going to be one of those things where I'm kind of checking out what's going on in sites and stuff like that, because
of course
I have a very OCD way of things.
Same here.
You know what I mean? It just has to be done right, because you know what? I've got clients who keep coming back and keep coming, and there's reasons for that. I've dealt with guys where I've lost clientele because their work wasn't, as good as
the standard.
To be.
Yeah.
I mean, we're talking about people's houses. You got to live with this stuff every day. If I look at it and I go, I don't like that, I know someone else isn't going to like it. It's just bottom line, right?
Exactly.
So.
Yeah, I love the
kind of.
Yeah, you're good. No, I got a lot of information there. I love that you say that, because that's the kind of the same way that like I work with, like even like my agency as well, like my business. Like when I'm making these ads and I'm putting these videos together, I go, okay, like I'll even call my mom and be like, hey mom, like what do you think of this ad? Because she's like the type of people that would like to get renovations done. And if I don't like it and she doesn't like it, I'm like, okay, well, no way in hell am I launching this ad, right? So yeah, I fully understand with the OCD side of things, and I completely agree. And you have to have a high standard, right? And to add on to that even as well, because like you just shared a lot about yourself, your backstory. So, I appreciate that. And I want to share it in return. That's kind of how I operate. I'm always about, just being the same way. And yeah, for myself, I'm a 21-year-old guy, young, ambitious. And essentially for the last 2 years, I kind of started this whole journey of like self-development, getting better. I started off just going door to door myself. I bought a lawnmower, I bought a weed whacker, and I'm out here in St. Catharines right now, like Niagara Falls area. So I just went door to door knocking by myself. I used the approach of, hey, I'm a university student who needs some help, trying to just, help out the community. I went around, knocked, got a bunch of help from there, helped a bunch of the community neighbors and everything. I was making decent cash, like $600-700 a week, just doing that. Also doing some landscaping for some commercial as well. And then after that, on the like in the downtime, when I would have my time off during the end of the day, I would just focus on this business, build the infrastructure, and get everything set up. And then since then, I've gotten super into fitness and the gym and critical thinking and just helping people. And since then, I love that you say the standard, which is where I wanted to go with this, because my company standard, we everyone in my company, you have to be able to do 10 pull-ups. You have to be able to do you have to be able to run a 5K in 25 minutes. Like, you have to do these standards. And if you can't, well, then, hey, it looks bad on me as the founder, right? So I like that you said that about the standard, because I definitely go a bit to the extreme with that, you could say. But I like it nonetheless to hear that. So
nothing wrong with ambition.
hey, it gets the world moving, right? Now,
Yeah.
with the projects, you said the 2 to 3. I see what you're saying. And typically some bathrooms, like some powder rooms, or something. I know the powder rooms take about maybe 3 days. You said the 3 pieces might take a bit longer, like a week on average or so, maybe 6 days, maybe even a bit longer depending on the scope.
It really depends on the scope of the work.
Exactly.
Man. If we're talking full cuts, I mean, if you're talking a full cut on the bathroom, I like to put 2 weeks on it. If you start adding, like, what I like to call special features, like special hack walls with built-in faucets and everything that's kind of hidden,
Yeah, custom cut.
When you get into the more custom side of things versus me just doing a read and read, things can get a little bit longer. But yeah, I mean, 3-piece bathrooms, full tile, the whole nine. That's a 2-week job every time, man.
Okay, nice. And that average price for that too is like around like 16, 17,000.
Yeah, let's go with around there. Just depending on the. It all depends on finishes, man.
Yeah, that's the biggest thing.
If you want some standard, some sliding glass doors that you can get at Home Depot for whatever $800. That's one thing. You might get the full custom glass. That's another thing. It varies. Average 16 to 20. It just depends on finishes.
For sure. And yeah, the reason that I asked that too is because I'm just trying to see like what the capacity like really is, like how much work you could handle, right? Because like we specialize in bringing the basement renos, bringing like the kitchen renovations. We also can do bathrooms as well. Like those do work. But it comes down to kind of what you're looking for, right? So that's why I asked, like, I can see 2 to 3 projects per month. If I'm bringing you like 3 basement remodels per month, legalize the basement, or they want to get a second dwelling unit, right? Like, how many of those could you handle per month?
Could probably get to 2 going.
Okay, perfect.
To be honest, I could probably get to 2 going. I mean, it all depends on getting the guys and everything else behind it. Because I mean, if we're gonna get into that, I gotta get a few more subs, but not the end of the world. There's a few that I work with regularly. There's a few that I have in the back pocket I could always bring in, right?
Okay. Hey, and obviously, like, they're reputable. You trust them, credible, everything, right?
Yeah, I don't really work with people I don't want to.
Perfect.
I have to fix problems for. So, yeah.
Okay, nice.
Insured, the whole bit. Registered, legitimate companies.
WSIB, perfect.
There's the odd guy, who wants to paint the room for cash or whatever. It is what it is. A lot of these guys like to play that game, and I don't really swing the whole cash game. But for a $300 paint job, I'm not going to really.
Yeah, when it comes down to it, if it's pennies at the end of the day, like, it's pennies. Like, not really a point in doing much there, especially if the work gets done properly and on time.
If the job gets done properly, and then it's just one of those things you need to get done. Yeah,
just avoid the headache. Exactly, right?
Yeah,
exactly.
And happy clients are referring clients. So
exactly, right. And with the profit margins as well, like the gross profit, what do you typically making on a job?
Typically depends on the job, man.
Oh, you don't like, do you give yourself like a baseline that you don't want to go below or anything?
I do, but it typically depends on the job.
Okay.
Basements, I find the margins are a little bit lower than bathrooms versus kitchens, right?
Okay.
It's very dependent. My base, if I'm not making 30%, after anything, don't get me wrong. It depends on the market and how things are going. But I mean, 30% on any job, I would say it has to be at least base, and that's after paying everybody off, paying myself the whole bit, overhead the whole nine.
Okay. Yeah, so that's net. Okay, you're talking net now.
Yeah.
Okay. Nice. So I'm just taking a note. Sorry. Okay, Okay, nice. So yeah, I think I got that there. And now I know you said you typically deal with the referrals. We're about to get into the marketing side with the cold traffic. But how many like how many leads are like per month do you get to close a job? Like how many leads does it take to close one job?
Oh, jeez. Um, if I'm gonna give you a number on that, I'm probably in the 40 to 50%.
And that's on
range.
referrals.
So, yeah. So if I hit every other referral, I'm usually hitting out of 3. We'll go with 1.4.
I love 1.4 of a close.
I can't say I'm exactly half because it's not. But it's almost half, but not quite.
Okay, well, for sure, get into that as well. I can already tell, Gary, the biggest thing that I'm getting here, or not the biggest, like one of the bigger things, is that you want to get to that office role where you still want to have your crews, you're still on site, you still want to do all of that because that is what you care about truly in the business. But when it comes to being like a high level CEO, being an executive position, oh, it's tracking, it's metrics, it's knowing your numbers, it's doing all of that, right? Which I'm sure you know. So.
Oh, I know.
Okay, perfect.
Like I think we were talking on the phone the other day. I am all of those positions plus the guy carrying tools, plus the guy buying materials, plus the guy going out writing and dunning quotes. It's to be able to sit here and say, hey man, every last metric of a business. For a guy who didn't really technically go to do any kind of business in high school or even outside of high school.
Oh, nice.
It's been a learning curve, and to obviously to be able to say, hey, these are my numbers. This and that. I needed the time for that.
Yeah.
Being a man with a freaking family and trying to balance everything at the same time, certain things like that, I kind of look at it and I go, you know what? I kind of have an idea where it is, but I'm not going to sit there and try to calculate it on every possible.
Okay.
On a, you know what I mean? I could probably go to my accountant and say, hey man, what are my numbers? Where are we at? And she'll probably within minutes be able to tell me this is the overall like I could probably pull it up online, to be honest. I could pull up what my margins are like. But the thing is, my goal is to kind of to keep the machine rolling, right?
Yeah. Well, yeah. In the beginning, especially with where you're at right now, that is like the main goal, like just to keep it going. Like that's I like it because as we briefly kind of spoke about, same position for myself. Like I do track everything still because I do personally have a bit more time because I don't, as you said, I know you got the family, you got some kids probably going as well. So I get that. But for myself, yeah, as soon as I started like actually tracking it at all, that's when I made the machine go smoother and I just like got out of like actually tracking it all. So I'm definitely gonna help you get there if I can, if this all goes together smoothly, right?
Let's talk a little about you and your business now.
For sure.
How do you develop your leads? How do you go about doing all this stuff?
Yeah, for sure.
You're doing.
Yep. So how it works? Yeah. So how it works? Sorry, I'm just getting some notifications. Yeah, so how it works is we have a pretty simple process. We use Meta advertisements, right? So Meta is your Facebook and your Instagram. And from there, what happens is they get generated on Meta. From there, they get qualified through a form they fill out. And then after that, they have a second step of qualification where I call them myself. Then from there, if they're a good fit, they have the right credentials you're looking for. They are a qualified person based on our checklist and your checklist, right? Tying back to that standard. Only then do we book them into your calendar that directly syncs with our software and your calendar, and then it just gets automatically booked in. Now, from the date that they're booked in to the date that we called them, for those that say it's like a 3-day in advance or whatever, over that period, we nurture them. They get reminders for the appointment. We send them some resources like a brochure, some jobs they've done before and after, right? Just to warm the lead up, get them more familiar and kind of used to our ecosystem. Then from there, you show up on the day of the appointment. And then after that, you gotta, do what you do best, right? Go for the close, do the work and everything, right? So that's kind of how the actual system works in and of itself. There are add-ons as well that we have because like we don't offer just individual services. I offer like a package, it's like a growth package to really like make you then bring you to the next level. So like, for that tracking stuff, like you said, we actually do that for you. Like we'll help you do it. We give you our CRM software. Do you have a CRM software right now by any chance?
I do not.
Okay, perfect. Are you familiar with that?
A little bit, but I'm the kind of guy who learns things fast. So
Oh, okay, nice. Yeah, and sorry, just before we continue, you sound like you sound like extremely energetic. Are you like in your like mid-30s?
I wish I'm in my mid 40s now.
No way. I did not think it for a second. Wow. But yeah, so we'll give you that software for you. Take that time off your hands. We'll also show you how to do it as well, so you can get a good understanding. Because I know, like you want, like you said, you have that OCD thing, like myself. So I know you're gonna want to learn it. You don't want shit to just be happening and going on without you actually knowing it. And we'll show you all that stuff there and help you track it. And that's also where these reminders and automations get sent from. And then the big thing, which this actually ties really well into the next kind of the marketing side of things I wanted to ask you about. We also do the social media management, right? So if you guys need help, setting up a Google listing, if the website needs some work, the Instagram and the Facebook, right? If they need to be maintained and managed, right? Like we'll make posts for you based on your previous work and work you have done. That's like kind of the base work that's done there. But here's where it gets really, really interesting. This is what I really like to do as well, because it brings about the best results, right? As we know, referrals and word of mouth is the best in this industry. So what we do actually is on the social media, we follow some real estate agents, we follow other construction companies, we follow some real estate developers, things of that nature. And then once we follow them, then we'll start commenting on their pictures, commenting on their posts. We'll start engaging with them back and forth. Then after nurturing them for about a couple weeks, that's when we'll actually reach out to them. And then we reach out to them on the Instagram or the Facebook, whatever the case is. And then from there, we ask like, hey, pretty much in essence, this is not how we do it, but just to make it make sense, it's like, hey, you can check out our work here. We'd love to come give you a quote on, one of your projects that maybe your clients are looking to get done. So we actually now start connecting you with the real estate agents, the real estate developers, even the, if you want to get into commercial as well, potentially, right? Just showing you like, what we're capable of doing. We can also target the property managers, talk to them, reach out to them. So the goal is not necessarily to only do marketing and get you cold traffic through paid ads. That's not necessarily the only approach. We also want to, create you a strong social presence, create you a strong brand that can lead to the long-term goal and get you a lot more referrals and a lot more just, of it. You have more of an image and more of a brand in the actual space that people just come to you without even thinking about it, right? So with that marketing stuff, right, and like the social media page, do you have anything of that nature set up right now?
Social media going on. Funny enough, I was actually I do have an administrative assistant that I'm working with.
Nice.
Who was actually going to build that website for me? So.
Okay, so you got the Instagram and the Facebook, right?
The actual website, it's in the works.
Okay.
Put it that way.
Website in the works. And for the Instagram and Facebook, you said the admin does that?
I take care of that.
Oh, you do? Okay, perfect.
Yeah. Well, one thing at a time with her, right? Because I kind of just onboarded her a little while ago through a referral. So I'm kind of taking one thing at a time. I've done some other work with her, like what I see, and as things go, you know what I mean. One thing leads to the next, right?
Exactly. Okay.
A little bit more delegating or less headaches.
Exactly. Tell me about it. And with the Instagram and the Facebook, I know you're managing yourself. How often are you posting on that?
Basically after every job.
Okay. And do you do any story posts of any sort?
No, not typically, no.
Oh, I'm telling you, like I do. So I do like a. Sorry, 1 second.
Well, I've had the odd reel and stuff like that, but I don't typically reach for those specifically.
Yeah, no, the reason I say story post in specific, because like the reels, like we can convert any post into a reel. It's super simple. It's just a format thing. But the reason I ask about like the stories themselves is to give you a little kind of anecdote here with myself. I'm like also starting up like a personal brand. Are you aware of like a personal brand or anything like that?
No.
So a personal brand is like, you'll see these guys online that are famous or have a following, right? They have that's called a personal brand. So they'll make, that brand of themselves, and then they'll try and sell something like at the end of it. So they have their personal brand to gain attention, and then they'll position like a product or something at the end of it. And that's the whole funnel, right? So for myself, I'll post like story pictures and story videos of myself talking, sharing wisdom, sharing game that I've learned about business, about like mindset and stuff like that, about fitness, because I love fitness. And people, like, I'm getting like insanely good reviews. I'm getting insanely good reactions. People are reaching out to me. People are telling me like they want me to help them with their business, help them with their work, stuff like that. So even just doing story posts alone, showing like, hey, today here in, this basement, here's the, it's fully gutted. We did all this now, and then you show 2 days later, oh, you just got the materials in. Now we're gonna build out this and this, like just pretty much showing them a day in the life kind of like what you're doing actively. I have found works so well for the leads. They love seeing you guys actually working with your hands and doing the actual work themselves. It positions you as the authority figure.
Gotcha.
So
something you can work on.
Oh, for sure. And don't even worry because I'm going to make you this whole game plan. And after I make it for you, I'm actually going to give it to you. So even if you don't want to work with me and you just want to do it yourself or, handle it by yourself, that's completely fine. I'm not even looking, like I said, I'm just here to help. I really just care about helping. So you'll get this game plan. It'll be fully broken down. But I've only got a final few questions here, and you can jump in whenever you want as well. But about the actual marketing, right, with the paid advertising and anything like that, have you ever done anything of that nature?
I haven't had to, then.
Oh, because the referrals have been good. Okay.
Oh yeah. I can't even. I mean, social media has been a godsend, really. Even when I'm not getting word of mouth traffic, I'm getting when people are looking for referrals for people online. So in some of the community groups that I follow, my name is getting thrown around. So
nice, like the marketplace and stuff like that.
No, mainly so like groups and stuff. So each city tends to have their own kind of sort of like a community group on Facebook.
Oh yes, the Facebook groups.
Yeah. So basically Facebook groups, and I follow a few just to kind of keep my head in things, and I'll throw some posts up there on work I've done and whatnot. But I mean, I'm getting a lot of referrals through that.
Nice.
So that's, I mean, I've just recently posted. I haven't even know. I've done an advertising with a real estate agent.
Nice.
Which one call it? So basically, it's just a pamphlet. So it's the clients from the broker would be getting a pamphlet with all the information that the brokerage obviously gives them, but as I'm pretty sure you've seen the folders where they got different contractors and different resources and stuff for when people sell houses.
Oh, so you're one of them, like in there, kind of like you're one of the contractors.
Yeah, I put the odd thing. I'm just kind of testing it to see where it takes me.
Yep.
Like I said, I hadn't even needed it, but I figure, you know what, markets are changing, things are swinging. You never know, right? We're not in COVID times when people are, lining up to get work done.
Yeah.
Things are kind of shifting back to the way things were pre-COVID. So there's a certain angle you got to kind of go at. And I figure with a little bit more advertising through realtors and stuff like that. I've worked with a few realtors in the past. They're great to work with. A little tricky sometimes because they need things done yesterday. That's never never an easy task to go with. But I mean, I'm just kind of testing with that right now. And I mean, I'm on the phone with you right now, so I'm definitely interested in what you got to offer. So.
For sure. And I'm going to send you, like, I don't even worry, because like the game plan, once again, it's going to be very comprehensive. But with that, with those real estate agents that you said, like, how many do you have in your network right now?
To be honest, man, I don't know. I didn't keep track of that.
What?
Phone calls, and I get phone calls from them, and if things need to be done, things need to be done. If I can do it, I can do it. If not,
oh.
In town, there's probably somewhere between, I don't know, 5 and 10 guys guys and girls that give me a call from time to time and need stuff done.
Okay, so you do have the real estate agents.
I do have them. The thing is, so real estate agents, they're not very loyal. So let's just say I have them, but I don't have them, because the thing is, the way that they work is they need things done yesterday. If I can't get to them within a certain time frame, they go to the next guy. There's no loyalty between them. I've been able to work with a few on a regular consistent.
Okay.
But, I know a few other contractors in town. We all talk too, right? So we know who's playing what games sometimes. So.
That's nice. I love that.
Yeah, you know what, man? It's realistically, high school never ends, man. So I mean, I do work with realtors. Typically, a lot of the work that I do is with homeowners.
Yeah.
First and foremost. So, those realtors are just kind of like just cake in between jobs sometimes.
Yeah, because the realtors, like, it's literally like all they're thinking is, oh, I got to get my client this project done, like you said, done yesterday, and then they just completely forget.
They're trying to get their client ready to go listed for a week or two, because the time frames that they like to work on are very minimal.
Yep.
I mean, one guy I know, he listed with his realtor, and I think they've done work within the last 2.5 weeks, and they've turned his house. They've done countertops, they've painted cabinets, they've done painting through everything this guy's let go for years.
Yep.
All within like a 2 to 3 week time frame. That being said, I'm looking at it from the outside because I typically try not to do too much work when it comes to stuff like this with friends and family because it's just the politics of it all.
Yep.
And I mean, that's just typically the way that these things work with realtors. It's we got to go in, we got to be in 2 to 3 weeks max. The thing is, I can't sit around waiting for a realtor to call me because if I did that, I would be broke.
Exactly.
So yeah, when they look me up and they need something done, you know, some quick things done, I can always make things work. But typically, work is done with homeowners. We're not that whole bit.
Yeah, no, the B2C is definitely way better than the B2B. Even with like this one client, he does painting. I help him in Ottawa. And what I found with the real estate agents, because as you said, they're very, very time efficient, or not efficient. They're just time, like that's exactly what they were. The perfect word. Thank you. Time demanding. And because of that, that what we'll do actually there is we'll actually, you know, charge them a bit more if they want it done faster, like have that premium option. So, hey, if you want it done quicker, we'll bust our ass, but we're going to charge you way more, right?
Yeah, you're going to charge you 100%. I get what you're saying.
Right. So like that's an approach that, sorry.
Typically, how many leads do you generate a month for some of your clients?
Yeah, so we actually don't do it on like a lead basis. We do it on an appointment basis because, like I said, like, you know, we handle it from A to Z. So typically, what we'll spend minimum, and I'm all about transparency, so I'm not going to hold it back from you. I'm just going to tell you our lowest package will spend around $1,500 per month on ad spend, right? And from that can guarantee 15 in-house appointments.
It's pretty good.
Oh, it's very good if you ask me. But then it comes down to the actual close rates. That's where, like, that's why, as I asked you, right, you know, you said like 45% or so with referrals. The cold leads, as you know, will be a bit lower, probably around 20, maybe 15%. We have methods to warm them up, such as, you know, sending them that, you know, that brochure or the pamphlet, giving them the reminders. Like we have some methods like that. But yeah, ultimately, like from those 15, we can expect probably about 2 to 3 jobs to close for like the lowest end. But for clients who have, you know, proven close records with cold leads, they have their systems in place and everything like that, then they can close anywhere up to like 6 or 7, right? It is hard to close all of them.
I'm assuming your application process and stuff like that kind of weeds out some of the tire kickers. Is that why you guys do this process to see where people are?
Sorry, you cut out there for a second. Is that why you do this whole process and then go?
Sorry, so the whole application process, is this where you guys kind of weed out the tire kickers?
Yes, exactly. So the form that they fill out and the phone call we give them, we don't. So the form itself, we make the barrier to entry just for like, we'll put it on a scale. Let's say 10 is like, it's impossible to get through unless you're serious. 1 being anyone can get through if they have a name and a number in a house. The barrier to entry on the form itself is about a 6, but then the barrier to entry once we call them is about an 8. So they'll come in, they have to be serious about, you know, getting a job done to fill out the form, and then if they fill out the form, then I will call them, and then there's even more questions specific to exactly about the project, and these are where I ask questions such as, you know, a budget ballpark, you know, do you have any designs in mind? Because the form itself is to ask them, you know, some general questions that they would know if they were thinking about a basement renovation, for example. But then on the call is where I ask them more specific stuff about the actual renovation to know what stage they're at when it comes to planning, or if they're budgeting, or if they're getting ready to hire, stuff like that, right?
Gotcha.
So with those real estate agents, another thing I would say, just to give you some like free game here, is I find, because as you said, you know, they're not really loyal. That's where if I like, because what I'll do is like I'll follow up with a lot of the real estate agents for my other clients. I'll give them a call like once every month and a half, just say, hey, you know, you guys have any projects coming up for your new clients? Keep them in the loop. You know, they see the follow-ups that we do. They like kind of that speed, that what's the good word?
Yeah, stay fresh in their minds.
Exactly. Yeah, right. I'm glad you're on the same page here, which I really appreciate. But yeah, that's kind of everything. I got all the information that I needed to get here, fully made understood. Now I want to like kind of just shift it a little bit now towards goals. Like, what are we trying to accomplish? Because I know you said you're a family man. got your family going, got some kids. If you want to share that, you could. But I want to what is the goal we're trying to get with this business?
2 to 3 crews.
Crews consist of 4 people.
2 to 3 crews, 2 to 3 people. It all depends. I mean, you can't fit 4 guys into a bathroom. It's just not going to happen.
Yep.
So crews, 2 to 3 crews, 2 to 4 guys depending on the job per crew. I mean, juggling guys around to do jobs is not
it's not optimal. Yeah.
No, It's the thing is, I like to get guys who work well together. I mean,
yeah, the company culture, exactly.
Having the culture there is going to be it's kind of key. I find on the construction site, everybody likes to be a joker. The more jokes you get, the funny enough, the happier the guys are, the more productive you are, right?
Yep.
So basically, 2 to 3 crews. 3 crews would be ideal. 2 to 4 per crew, but with guys that can jump from crew to crew depending on where we're going, right?
Yep.
Me doing a lot more of this, just talking to people all day because I want to sit on my butt. I put my time in.
Yep, you hung up the hard hat.
I'm not the 21-year-old that you are, man.
That's why I do it for you. I'm livid. I'm ready to go. I'm hyped.
There you go. Sounds like it, man. Sounds like it.
And I want to ask her, the culture is key. I fully agree with that. But we're still a little bit surface here, Gary. I'm trying to get down to the meat and potatoes here. What is our revenue goal? Where are we right now? Where are we trying to take this, right?
Well, if you want to know something about that, you have to ask, right?
Sorry, you cut out. You have to ask what? Sorry.
I said if you want to know direct questions like that, you gotta ask.
Perfect. Okay, I'll do that from now on.
You know what, man? If I don't want to tell you, I'll just say, man, straight up, it's kind of
perfect.
Our business.
I like that.
There's absolutely nothing wrong with that. When we're talking dollars and cents, some things are my business, some things I'm fine with talking.
Yep.
Being a 1 to 2 million in sales per year, totally fine with something like that, man.
Nice. Okay.
I mean, if I'm running 3 crews, there's no way I shouldn't be doing 1.5 a year.
Okay, perfect. Yeah, that'll be pretty good for you as well with the 30%, as you were saying before. So that's good. And right now, how far are we off from that? I know you don't have to share the exact number because I know you said you probably don't want to, but are we in 6 figures? Like mid? Like 500,000 above or below?
As a company, I'm definitely in 6 figures, man. That's really not hard doing what I'm doing.
Yeah, no, I know. It's literally 1 project a month.
Yeah, technically.
Okay, so we'll say below 500,000 in recurring rev.
Sure.
Okay, perfect. Okay, I got that, and I think that's it there. And I just kind of want to ask you because just ask you more aside from business, just ask a little bit more about Gary to find out kind of a bit more about yourself. What is this kind of what is getting to these goals gonna actually kind of do for? I know yourself, it's gonna give you more time, but what's it gonna do for the family? How many kids do you have? If you don't mind me asking.
Well, until I get to know you, I'm gonna stop you there.
Okay.
I mean, if we're gonna talk about business, we'll talk about business. We get the family. When I get to know you better, then we'll talk a little bit more about that. But
for sure.
Typically, just what everybody wants to do, man. Everybody wants to kind of just more time to do things. Basically, what the end goal is, I want to still make money while I'm fishing.
I like that. The fishing test, exactly.
Yeah, that's the ultimate goal. Be able to go out with the family, do what I want to do, and be able to put in a couple hours during the day while I'm at a cottage, and still make money. That's the ultimate goal.
Yes, sir. I like to hear that. And just lastly, now, do you have any background in sales? About certain urgency tactics, or using scarcity, or understanding what questions to ask, or pull pain, or anything about that? Do you have any knowledge there?
I haven't ever taken sales. No.
Oh,
I haven't done any kind of schooling or anything. I've actually, surprisingly, Surprisingly done well for myself. I mean, when I'm talking to a person like you for the first time, I'm kind of gauging you, man. I won't lie. I'm gauging you, listening, doing
Of
a lot
course.
of that.
Yeah.
When I'm with clients, I kind of have a routine that I kind of developed over the years. That kind of works with people.
Okay.
Different people are different strokes for different folks, right?
Exactly.
I've learned that aspect of things. I know when to cut my losses because you're just looking at somebody who's just not going to have it.
Yep.
That is one of those things where it's tough to know, but reading the room is a very big thing that I've kind of learned over the years. So my experience with sales is everything I've done in the past number of years, going to random people's houses. Just
and simply winning. Yeah.
Yeah, figuring out how to win it, getting out of a comfort zone, because I wasn't a very talkative person growing up. Growing as a person and everything else. So yeah, I mean, my experience is all hitting the road running, man.
I like that. That's the same way I'm operating. Literally just jumped into the deep end.
Yeah, just jump and learn how to swim fast, man, because if you're not, you're gonna drown, right?
Exactly. That's how life is.
That's I'll give you a quick life point, man. Learn from other people's mistakes. It's a lot easier.
Oh my, that I literally was talking to my dad about that yesterday. Because that's the biggest thing I struggle with. For me, it's like my dad, he's like right now he's 60. And he's still smoking a bunch, drinking like multiple coffees every single day. And the coffee itself is fine, but he gets like the ones from Tim Hortons, like with all the refined sugars and everything. And his health, it's starting to catch up to him, right? At 60 years of age, and because he was a general contractor for 40 years. So like now he's kind of on the end of his kind of cycle. Now he's kind of more in the retired phase, but his health is just not catching up. It's all the bad habits have finally caught up with him. And he's telling me, he's like, Michael, don't smoke cigarettes. Michael, don't do this. Don't drink all this. And I'm like, yeah, I know you're right, but like, it's so hard for me to listen and actually just take his experience and take his word for it, even though I know he's right. And that's the biggest thing I got to work on right now is, as you said, taking other people's, word for it and just saying, okay, you're right.
It's a lot easier, man. Health-wise, yeah, contracting is a young man's freaking game. But everything else in life, listen to it, apply it, and just adjust it to you, man. Because had I listened to some of the things that I had like those just the little things, the difference in my life I could have had right now. I mean, I can tell you the story of the guy who kept telling me, Gary, buy a house. Gary, when you finish buying that house, buy a second house. Get 3 houses, you'll be laughing. And you know what, man? I'm talking about a guy that used to tell me this when I was probably your age, 21, 22. And houses at that time,
cheap.
Compared to today, yeah.
Yep.
100%. I mean, we're talking houses for $250,000, $350,000, and we're not talking small little dinky houses.
We're talking proper 3,000 square foot houses. I know, yeah.
Yeah, proper. Yeah, I mean, average living space between 2,000 and 20,000. Had I listened to that guy, I wouldn't be talking right now.
Exactly, you'd already be fishing.
So I mean, pointer from one man to another, man. Listen to what people tell you, and just do it. Don't be afraid.
Oh, that with the fear, the fear is not like a thing for me at all. Like, and I love that you said it before about, you kind of just like you would just show up to the house. You're good at reading people. You kind of just approach it. You just do it, and you just find a way to win. That's the exact same way I am, man. Like if you saw me 2 years back and you see me now, it's a complete night and day difference. I've developed the ability to just speak very well, to read people, to understand the room, to understand my position, right now, because. The biggest thing with me right now is that although I have a lot of intel, okay, I don't like to, like boast myself, but, it's hard to deny the facts. So I do know I can speak well. I know some things when it comes to business. I know some things when it comes to fitness. And a lot of the older people that I talk to, typically, whenever I'm talking, they think I'm like, oh, this guy, he's a 21. He thinks he knows this, thinks he knows that. And I'm like, I'm not trying to be, an egotistical guy here. I'm just saying I know about, this, this, and this. And you should tell me about your things that you have experience with. And I'll tell you about the things I've experienced with. So the fact that we're on this conversation and like you're actually, kind of like, taking what I'm saying, you're like, okay, I like what you guys are doing and you're giving it a chance. I really appreciate that, man, because, it's a little tough, especially as a 21-year-old trying to get to talk to general contractors.
Man, I was your age once. I know people use the power today, so I'll give you the time of day.
I appreciate that.
Things don't work out. At least you get to communicate with someone a little bit, or you get to kind of
Exactly.
Learn a little bit from
Always
you, learn a
learning.
little bit from because you know what, you guys are ambitious.
Yeah.
I was your age one time, and I know what it was like to want to run around and get everything I could. So
Yes, sir. So with that being said, Gary, don't want to hold you here any longer. I got all the information I need. I'm actually going to go and make this this game plan for you. But now the next step would just be another phone call where we'd go over it. On the next call, though, I would like to attach a name to the face. Sorry, a face to the voice. My bad. So we can do either a Zoom call or a FaceTime. Which would you prefer?
we'll do a Zoom call then.
Okay, perfect. So I've actually just got my calendar pulled up here. And what's the best email I can send this this invite over to?
So fix it.
All right, guys. What were our thoughts on that call? I'll have this due by Friday. Bro, my shit's being slow. I gotta call Glenn later today also. Was that what do you mean you can't DM me on Instagram, Wojitas? Do I have you blocked or something? Bro, why can't I? Oh, there's an emoji. I was like, where are these emojis at, bruh? Where are these emojis at, bruh? Give me 1 second. I'm not looking at the shot right now. I'm not looking at the shot, fam. Okay, Wojitas. I'm not seeing anything Wojitas. Like Michael Debari _ Like, damn me. A bunch of people, yes. DM me. Okay, my IG's bugging here right now. Was that a close? CV. That was not a close. Actually, who's still in here so I can just know who the fuck I should read. Oh my, get the fuck off. Okay. Okay, CV and Sanjay. Okay, bad. So CV, yeah. Was that a close? No, that wasn't a close. That was just a discovery call to find out if I can help. I might just get a bunch of information. And once I get that information, I make a tailored package. It's not a tailored package. It's the same fucking package I give to everyone, but I just make them feel like they're special. Sanjay, I've watched your video named "You Live and You Learn." How's the situation now? Yeah, I'm doing pretty good now. Like it was just a really bad like time. I fucking wasted a bunch of money like a brick cause, but I've made some money back, so we're chilling. It's more so what I learned from that situation, and what I learned was that money, it's these get rich quick things aren't real. One and two, everything that is texted to you from a number you don't know is usually a scam. Almost every single thing that you ever get texted from any phone number is usually a scam, unless they know you and your name and shit like that. Cutie fish, killing it, but it seems like you get too personal too quickly. Maybe save it for a follow-up call. One, I'm not saying this in a dickhead way. I'm just like genuinely curious. One, what's your experience? What's your background? Like, what have you based your knowledge on to say that? And two, maybe like I kind of see what you're saying a little bit, but for me, the way I view it is like I'm trying to bring that energy, show them, hey, I'm a real person. Not only am I a real person, but I also get great results at the same time, right? And that's the biggest thing I'm trying to do here. It's not like I just want to tell them, "Oh, yo, I'm straight business," or "Okay, let's kind of remain a bit more business, and then we'll get a bit more personal gradually." Like on the cold call, I like to bring my personality to it. On the sales call, I like to bring my personality to it. On the closing call, I like to bring my personality to it. During the client relationship, I like to bring my personality to it. Like I like to just save it and keep it consistent. Keep it uniform. Sorry, guys, I'm just texting someone. All right, back to the chat. I don't have experience with sales. I'm not saying it's bad. It just feels too soon. You could tell he was being guarded as you started asking him into his personal life. Yeah, no, that for sure. Some people are like that. That's just kind of the way I am, and like that's why I started sharing about my side of things. Um, that like I should have known. Okay, so okay, what was the outcome of the discovery? The outcome was that I can help him. I got all the information, and now I'm gonna make him a tailored package, and then propose that next week. So he's getting nurtured now. Cutie fish or cuttlefish, sorry. Yeah, like what I realized is that you dictate the sale. So it's not like, it's not like, oh, this guy doesn't want to share, so don't push or like anything like that. It's like, if he doesn't want to share, hold up. No, I'm keeping these on. If he doesn't want to share, but if I'm sharing and I'm being very personable and I'm being very open, then typically they might become more open. But as you saw, like, he was kind of not open to, sharing about that side of things and doing all that. So I stopped pushing after that. Like, I don't need to know any more about that. So now that he doesn't want to share things, I'll just share him all my information because I don't care. And then that shows something in his mind where it's like, oh, this guy doesn't care to, he's not going to push harder about what I want to know in my life, but he's fine sharing his life. It's like, I don't know. he like he can't he can soar at a 4. He's making like sub 500K. Um, net. He's making like he ain't making that much. He ain't making that much. He ain't making that much. But we'll see. You know, we'll see how it goes. We truly will see how it goes. Next thing I got to do now, I got to call one of my clients. I'm gonna give him a phone call right now. I'll do the phone call with you guys here. And then yeah. Okay, so I'm gonna call my client at 3:30, tell him about the ad approach, the ad strategy. And then I'm gonna call a prospect after that. He might be working, but we'll see. And then I'm gonna go into a deep work session because I fucked up today. No, I have to call Glenn, Randall. I have to call Glenn, prospect, Glenn, I have to call. Randy, I have to call. My client I have to call. My prospect I have to call. Fawad. Like this guy, bro. Okay, bet. That's that. I'll give meat 10 minutes. Right now, I'm going to order some fucking Uber Eats, bro, because I'm marved. What should we get? What should we get for food, guys? Chat. What should we get for food? Hold up. Let me boss up real quick. Damn, I'm fine as fuck, bro. No, I need to get my hair slicked back. Oh, now we're fucking Rizzy for sure. Okay, what are we going to get from Mux? Shawarma, McDonald's, bar burrito. What are we getting? Unless you guys don't care about what I fucking eat. In which case, that's mad disrespectful. No one gives a fuck, bro. That's crazy. That's actually fucking madness. Oh, might have got a comment. We'll see. Bro, what you mean what you gonna eat? Protein. Yeah, protein, obviously. But I don't want to go fucking buy food. Like, I don't want to go buy steaks and all of that right now. I just want to order some food and do work today. I ain't care. I ain't even care. I'm getting Osmos. Give me a chicken half and half, bro. Oh my goodness. Oh my goodness. Give me a large, okay? Like a boss. Can't help you then like that? What do you mean you can't help me? I was just thinking some fast food, bro. Throw some fast food thoughts out there. What's tahini sauce? I can do that. Dude, Osmos, because they're fucking Indian. Oh, you're from Serbia. Okay, fair enough. um, Osmo's Mediterranean food. My Slavic brother. Yeah, so basically, you can't get like you can't. I'll get just garlic, I think. But yeah, you can't get like here. There's a spice level. It says like what level do you want your spice to be, right? Bro, you can't go with like medium or hot because the Bakis they fucking spice that shit to the max, bro. It's hot, hot. So I'm gonna get mild. Now, low key a little spicy. I like Osmos. Yeah, it's fucking gas. What do you get at Osmos? What's your Osmos order, guy? Or Jay? What's your Osmos order? Should I get a drink too? I got water. I I do no carbs. I don't eat carbs. Okay, I don't want to say I don't eat carbs. I'm about to eat carbs right now, but my primary diet, because dude, it's a fucking facade. It's not real, bro. Carbs, they're good for like the fast energy. No, I get half and half, just like on fries and rice. But yeah, no, I don't do carbs because it makes me feel mad bloated after. It makes me feel lethargic, like tired and like sloppy. So what I do is I only eat fats, like lots of fats. Like my main diet is steak, eggs, onions, some dates. I cook in beef tallow, and then I'll drink water, like some proper water and milk, like raw milk. I don't have raw milk right now, but water. I want to get in the raw milk soon though. And then anyways, um, no, I don't eat carbs. Like I literally don't eat like any carbs. Like, dude, I'm shredded. Like I'm fucking shredded as shit. Not even after a workout. After a workout, yeah, I do calisthenics and I do gymnastics and weight training, like a hypertrophy training. Go check my Instagram, bro. I'm fucking jacked. You can also see all the skills I can do. I don't. Yeah, I was trolling. Like, I want to get raw milk. I don't get it right now. I was getting like some unpasteurized milk from There's this like market, this Mills market, the Peanut Mill, Peanut Gallery, Peanut Gallery, the Peanut Mill. I was getting my food from there, my milk from there. It was pretty good. It was like 8% water buffalo milk. I'm losing more. How am I losing more? I don't feel. Yeah, how am I losing more? That would have been madness. Fucking gay, bro. Okay, bet. All's on the way. Now I'm gonna call my client. Um, what? Where did you get that information from? Carbs are not the best for recovery energy. Fats are. When you use carbs, it has inefficient ATP production in your body. It pulls. I don't know, yo. The reason I asked is I went to university before I didn't go to school anymore. I was taking courses about that stuff, and it was telling me that when you use carbs, your body has inefficient energy production when it takes energy from the carbs. Right? It only makes like the ratio is like 1 ATP to 2 or 1 to 1 or something. But so why it's good is because it takes energy quickly, rapidly. It can make you exert a lot of force, but it can't actually sustain you for a long period. But versus with fats, what fats do is with the ATP production there, it's like 1 to 3. So for every like 1 gram of fat, I don't know what the actual conversion is. For my school, for my university. I think that's where I learned it all. And when your fat is the one when your body is taking energy and converting energy from your fat, that's when it's more efficient and it keeps your body going longer and faster. And then for muscle recovery and for like body energy, that's where the protein comes in. I think at least from what I was told. I got to do more research on it for sure, to, like get more, but that's what I was told. That's why I've been operating. Yeah, no, CV. The reason why is because I was showing the phone numbers. I was showing the phone numbers when I was calling. That's amazing. Sorry, 1 second, guys. Yeah, sorry. So CV, the reason why it got deleted was because YouTube essentially was like, yo, you post this video and it shows the phone numbers of other people. So I can't actually post that. Like I can't. So next time when I do calls, I can't show the screen. It'll just be me talking. Or I'll show a different screen. Sanjay, protein builds it does not recover. Yeah, I know protein. Wait, what? Yeah, protein build, agreed. It does not recover. Yeah, but recovering, don't you just recover when you sleep and your body? Yeah, what the fuck? Hold up, bro. When you sleep is when your body recovers, right? Because every other process is shut off except for energy production to keep you alive, keep you breathing, and all that shit, right? As long as you don't have to eat before you go to bed and you're not digesting, you're just recovering. And what is the most efficient ATP production, right? The energy production, ATP is just energy. What's the most efficient? The fats. When you take muscle, when your body uses fat as an energy store or as an energy like creator, it makes it more and more efficient and it lasts longer. Here, I'll just quickly share my screen. Fats generally yield more ATP per gram than carbohydrates when fully oxidized, making them a more energy-dense fuel source. However, carbs are the body's preferred fuel source and can be utilized more quickly than fats for ATP production. So that's exactly what I was saying. Your body prefers to use the carbs, right? Because it's quick energy, right? You have the carbs in you. That's why when you're in the gym, when you go to bench press like 100 pounds or something, the reason why you can do that is because your body is pulling energy from the carbohydrate sources, right? But your body just produces carbs on its own. I'm pretty sure on its own. I don't know about that one, but I know it pulls energy from the carbs, right? Like from the sugars, from the shit like that. But with the fats, that is when you're doing like walking around, or you're doing other shit where it's not better, but it's It's no, it is better. It's more efficient. It creates more more production, right? Say something. Oh, bro, I don't trust bodybuilders at all. That's where I differ because I just think like them. I think what they do is they go to the gym, they get fucking juiced, they eat chicken and rice, and they fucking lift the weight. That's what I think they do, and that doesn't align with me personally. No, I know rice is carbs. I know. I used to eat a lot of rice, but then it just was not cool. Like it just didn't make me. It just didn't make me feel good. But anyways, I have some food coming. I just ordered it. I'm gonna hop on a live call with the private community that I'm in. I'm gonna hop on that live call. I'll restart this live stream afterwards. It's just gonna be a deep work session. It's just gonna be me with my headphones in. I'll have the chat open. I'm gonna be showing you guys what I'm building out, what I'm doing, and then from there we'll just do the work. You know, you guys, it's not gonna be entertaining. I'm literally just gonna be doing work. I'm gonna be thinking. I'm gonna be doing shit. But if you want to tune in, fucking tune in. I don't really care, right? But with that being said, I will talk to you guys in about half hour, 40 minutes, and then I'll see you then. Okay, easy, y'all.